It should be recorded. If not, can somebody drop a read AI into this? So,
I just did, so we're good.
okay. I'm also just going to do the conventional way of doing it. Oh, yeah, it is being recorded. So, if there's a lot of interest in this session and people who aren't able to be here. So, um, thanks for your cooperation. If you don't want to be like on video, you're welcome to turn your camera off.
And this
Um,
recording, just real quick housekeeping, this recording is going to be available on YouTube. So if there's anything like, oh, I forgot that thing or that was cool, it'll be available for you to tap into after.
Exactamundo. Cool. Yeah. So introduce yourself in the chat as you like. We'll hop right into it. So I'll kind of be narrating this session. We'll be doing some screen sharing. Um, So let's do some context setting. Uh, this call has historically been about the development, either from a project perspective, from a technical perspective, from a kind of like go-to-market perspective around the development of eco credits and eco crediting as a paradigm of bundling environmental impact as a kind of regenerative value form. In the last 4 months, we've sort of evolved this session to include a broader range of entry points into the ecosystem beyond just making credits. And that particular flow, because the registry at Regen Network is a kind of general purpose layer to do impact accounting that can be used for all sorts of things, not just crediting, although that was its original design intent. And also, as part of that, um, the the layer of governance around how people collectively to make decisions around creating project pages, issuing credits on a marketplace, allocating where the resources that are earned from a sale go. This is a space of like digital governance. And the foundation, the nonprofit arm of Regen Network, has in a lot of ways been focusing on developing capacity for local organizations and grassroots organizations to be able to govern and allocate treasuries and make decisions together in an effective way. That's all on chain as well. So we could talk about the kind of crediting systems around issuing environmental assets that are these entities that live on a blockchain. Today's session is going to be talking about um, around decision making, creating proposals, and collectively managing treasuries together on chain using what are called DAOs. I'm sorry that that word exists. It just sucks. We're kind of stuck with it, but the point is not to like sell DAOs because it's not the only way to do things. And it's not a way to sell DAOs on Cosmos or Regen Ledger either. The intent is to like much more broadly introduce the idea of digital governance systems and how they're relevant to um, land stewards, regenerators, ecosystem guardians, and things like that. So these tools have been developed primarily for like internet native communities, either Web3 blockchain native communities or like gamer culture, open source software developer communities. And over time, they're evolving to become highly effective tools towards grassroots organizations, cooperatives to collectively govern and manage treasuries and practice some level of like functional sovereignty. So one way to think of it is like readiness, like demonstrating that an organization can receive funding, govern it effectively, make decisions, and have that be transparent in a way that would make future funders feel like they were enthusiastic to allocate more resources to such organizations because they have a demonstrated ability to like manage it themselves. And we're going to show some tools about how to do that. So, yeah, awesome crew, great turnout. Excited about this. Nena, do you want to take us to the sort of landing page? We'll do a screen share and we'll just start off. So if you
Absolutely.
go ahead.
No, I said absolutely. Go on.
If you want to follow along, we encourage you all to do this. What we're going to do today, I'm almost certain is going to break. Like it's going to fail part of the way through. It's just guaranteed. And that we're not afraid of that because we're pretty comfortable with demonstrating highly experimental things in public settings. So we're nervous about that too much, but it could be that it gets to a point and there's like a bug I found this morning that might throw something off. This is experimental stuff, but we'll still be able to show the whole wealth and capacity of it. Our goal today is to actually build a DAO collectively with people on this call if you want to join. And the idea is that we would make this DAO an entity that could govern projects for future RBL topics. So that maybe this is a direct entity that could participate in the decision-making process of this call. So we're kind of doing a meta thing where we're open sourcing, in some ways, like more active participation from the public or from you all to be able to like weigh in into what RBL is. And so we'll build like an RBL DAO in some form today. That's the goal, but it's going to break. So we'll see how.
I think I'm a little bit more confident on it not breaking, but we'll see. What
Set the
happens.
expectations low. Yeah.
So before I can share my screen, but can we have like, can you all like use an emoji or something to indicate if you already have a Kepler wallet? And if not, maybe we have to make one together.
Thumbs up if you do.
Yeah, thumbs up if you do.
Okay, so one of the first steps in participating in digital governance tooling on blockchains is that you have to have an identity or an address that's able to participate in these on-chain systems. And those are typically those addresses that is sort of like equivalent to your mailing address or your email address in a conventional digital environment. You can think of the blockchain address as basically similar. It's like your username, it's a discrete address that you use to participate in this ecosystem. And the things that allow you to do that are typically called wallets. So in order to participate with this DAO governance stack we're showing, you have to have a particular wallet called Kepler that Nana has pulled up on the screen here.
So if you don't have it, it's fine. It's a simple enough process to walk you all through it. So which I'm going to do. If you are on your phone, like I can see some of the people that they are, you might have to go to your Play Store and download this app called Kepler, which I am typing on the screen. For the ones that are on the laptop, you basically need to download an extension. So you have to go to your, I don't know, if you're using Apple, then your Apple store, or if you're using Chrome, then your Chrome store. And you basically have to download this extension. I'm going to give you all 2 minutes to do it, and then I'm going to proceed.
Let's do 1 minute.
Okay, let's do 1 minute.
So if you want to just while we can like still demonstrate rather than we'll just use the space that we have, why don't you just click on the extension as it currently exists for you so that people can get a sense of what it looks like to have a wallet integrated into their browser. And this is again like a blockchain native address or like username that you can use to sign transactions, participate in contracts, do governance, all that jazz. Lots of people still coming in. It's cool. So yeah, so it shows up like an extension and you couldn't see that, or maybe you could see that, but Nana had to type in a password.
Yeah.
And what do we have here, Nana?
We have a password because I already have an account. I don't need one, but technically you would need one. So you would basically go there and you would say add wallet to create a new wallet. And then you would come here and you would say create a new wallet. Now there are 2 ways to do this. One is connecting your email account to it, which is pretty simple. That may work for many different websites that you may be using, which says, oh, you can just log in using your Google ID, which is possible here as well. Or you could do it by creating a cryptographic code. So the difference between the two is both of them work and allow you to make a wallet and hold money and funds in it. But in case if your email was ever hacked, they would be able to get into your wallet and steal your funds much easier. So for security reasons, we always say that it's better to have a cryptographic safe password so that nobody can nobody can steal the funds from you. It's like having your debit card pin, right? Like for a bank account, you would never make the login to be connected to your email ID. You would use a secure way, like a secure pin or something like that, to open your mobile banking app. This is a similar function. So we always recommend, and I'm going to take the recommended route and say create a new recovery phase. And then I'm going to show you, because I'm not going to create a new one right now. But when I show this, there would be like 12 words. You could use a more complicated one, which is 24. 12 is also fine. It would show you 12 random words in a particular order. So what we recommend, again, for safety purposes, is to take a paper and a pen, write these words down in the exact order that it is shown in your screen, and keep it really, really safe. Tomorrow, if you forget your password and still want to log in, but this is the only way that you might be able to get into your wallet again. So to avoid losing all the funds that you have, it's really important to keep these 12 words or 24 words really, really safe.
If you want to hit the back arrow, we can look back at the main screen. That's called a seed phrase. And when that's the main, like there, it's non-recoverable. One of the themes, you want to go back just to the main interface for Kepler? No. One of the themes that you'll encounter with working with blockchain related infrastructures, because you're not relying on Google to do this authentication for you, you have to do it for yourself. You are authenticating yourself by holding your own password. So we're not relying on a third party like Google or Apple to do that for you. You are having to take extra steps that feel annoying because you're removing them as intermediaries to like legitimize your online identity. If you click on the Kepler extension just at the top and show the you'll see that there's there's a username, say Nena Dao Dao, and then underneath it there's this thing called copy address right there. You can pick which chain your address lives on, but we'll say we're working on Regen right now. And the reason that we're saying this, you just want to paste it into the URL or something, and so people can see what a Regen address is.
I'm going to paste it on the chat.
Yeah. This is technically speaking what your address is. It has the word region in front of it because it corresponds to the blockchain it's on. And then it's just a garble of like a string, a garble of letters that's unique, letters and numbers that's unique to you. And that's your address. So you'll oftentimes see requests to copy and paste your address, to share an address. If you wanted someone to send you something, you would need to provide them with that address, and it's in the copy address section. So
Yes.
let's
This
plow ahead and
address,
go into
sorry,
Dada Zone.
can I just say one thing? That
Yeah.
this public address is absolutely safe to share, and this is not the thing that you should be worried about revealing in public. It's the 12-letter phrase thing, to re-emphasize. So if you ever feel like, oh, she's just pasting her address on the chat, why is she doing that? It's totally safe to do that. So just like making a distinction on where you need to be secure and where it's okay to share publicly.
Mhm. Great. I'm mindful of time. We'll probably spend maybe like 20 minutes going through the Dada stuff, and then we'll open it up for breakout because I want to make sure there's a lot of space. So
Yeah.
in order to go to this, in order to go, just go to the generic page, right? In order to play with the tool that we're going to introduce, does someone want to paste the dowdow.zone URL into the chat? This is the URL that you can go to in your browser. And this is the generic page. You could see a number of different DAOs that already exist in front of you. There's some that are featured. The first thing that you'll want to do is log in, and this is exactly where we'll use the address we just created to be able to log into DAO. So
Yeah. So I'm going to log in through my Kepler wallet. And this is my account, which is called NJS. And I am a part of two groups. So those groups come showing up this way. But since we are going to create a new one, I'm gonna go back to the main page, which takes a
This
minute.
is your main page.
No, it's my profile. Anyway, it doesn't matter. So I'm gonna go here. I clicked here, just here at create, and I'm going to choose a chain on which I want to make my DAO. You have bunch of options here. You could choose one of your choice. For the sake of the demo today, we are going to be doing this on Regen chain, and data has just come live on Regen. Um, so this is like creating a group account, right? Where we can all be members of and do fun stuff together. So you could have a profile picture here. You could have a banner image here. I wonder if Shella or Becca could quickly send us an image to be put here that relates to RBL. So this could be the RBL DAO. And I'm going to name it Region Builder Lab DAO. And here is a way that I could have a description. So I'm gonna say open generators.
Novel and interesting projects. Very nice. One of the things that's really common when people are developing stuff like this is that you just use generic placeholders for everything. Like you don't really name it something interesting and you don't give it a description and you don't really name yourself. And I just want to emphasize that it makes a world of difference if you take the time to make your username when you log into DAO. Like you can edit your avatar picture or the name that it displays, and it makes it much easier to not look at a bunch of strings of characters, but to actually look at people's names. It makes it more human readable and a lot more just accessible, generally speaking. So we advocate that you all like take the time to personalize it if you're thinking about starting a DAO. Um, uh, because it really helps. And I'm just going to plow right ahead into the fact that, okay, what we're doing right now is creating a new blockchain native organization that will have all kinds of parameters about how it will function based off of what we specify. So we are going to enter into this process where we're configuring the DAO. And in DAO, there are three primary ways that you can distribute ownership or like power within the DAO. And those are three nicely emojied entities at the bottom of the screen share that Nana's doing. The first is the simplest and the one we'll be using today, is called Membership DAO, which means everyone's a member and will be able to assign weights to each member. You can have different tiers of members and different like voting weights correlated with each one. You could have everyone be the same and have everyone have a power of one. That's fine. You could have a person who's an original founder have, higher power than somebody else. It's weighted voting. Another, before we click on that, just to go to the token based and non-NFT based, there are other ways of creating a DAO that are more complicated but could be of interest. One of them is to create your own token within the DAO so that you can create proposals to like sort of like mana or like HP, like you're giving points to one another that you can create proposals to distribute it. So rather than having a fixed weight at the beginning, it's sort of like who has the most tokens in their individual address. And so your ability to participate in certain things or have weight in proposals is a reflection of that. The last example is you could have it with an NFT, which means you have like a badge. Like I'm authorized to be a part of this DAO. Um, We'll do it with a membership. And so what it's going to ask us for is what's the address, what kind of tier you are, and what's the weight. So let's click continue and see it. Okay, so Region Builder Lab DAO, it's already started. We're doing the governance configuration on this on the DAO. one of the really cool things about this is that all of the smart contracts and all of the code is executing in the background, and we just have this interface where we can um, the different kind of components that we want. That I know of right now, Eve, no. I don't believe it's possible to switch between an NFT or a fungible token or a non-fungible token based model from a membership based one. Um, but that would be something that we could talk about, like creating or finding a way to like transition, basically like passing a treasury from one entity to another. We recommend starting with a membership basis. You can see there's a kind of like a tier, as it's called. Um, and you could say there's a core organizing team. You could say there's a participant team. Um, if we wanted to, we could say, okay, if you're a core organizer, like the four of us who are organizing these calls, we have a value of 10. Maybe the participants has a value of 8 or something. So that, yes, there is I'm not saying it's good that there's hierarchy and power, but it's totally transparent is the point. Um, I'm going to go ahead and grab my Kepler address and put it into the chat and see if Nana can paste my address into this to become a member of the DAO too. If anyone else has a Regen address that you want to become a member of the DAO, paste it into the chat and we'll try to add you right now. And we'll see if it works.
So I got Quiz's address. I'm putting them here.
Again, if you go into your
Okay.
Kepler extension and do the copy address thing, that's where that lives. We showed you that earlier.
Now I got Shella's.
Um, we have like in the chat a number of different like documents that we can make sure we're pasted after at the end of the chat so everyone has them that are like guides for how to do this. Um, and we can share this recording, and that's the best that we currently have, Abib, to follow up for the instructions. So we're recording all of this and we don't expect it's all going to stick at one time. But in true fashion, great job, everybody. Nice. KCT's there, different characters. I see us, Mushroom Punk, the Tree Frog. People are showing up. So we're like making this internet cooperative as we speak. Maybe we'll give it just a few more seconds. And this is the place where I was like, oh my God, I hope it works because I found this bug in it. But Nena's confident, so I'm confident.
I'm confident.
Yeah, great.
So I did that 1 hour ago with a different group. So
Great. Okay, so let's say yes to it now. If you want to join, we can make a proposal and we can demonstrate a proposal to add a new member, and that can be a cool way that we'll make a demo. So now we've got a pretty good distribution of folks here. Nice DAO. Let's hit continue. We're still in the configuration phase of this, so we're configuring our DAO. You can do all sorts of things. We'll enable multiple choice proposals so people can pick A, B, or C, however many you want. It's not just a yes or no, but you can actually pick like multiple choice. A proposal deposit would be used to prevent sort of like people from
scamming.
just making arbitrary or like unnecessary proposals. Like you have to put a little skin down to actually make a proposal because it's going to take up people's time and attention. A voting duration is how long the vote is open for. So that's 1 week. You'll see that we
So for
talk
the
a lot about
purpose
voting. Good.
for the purpose of the demo right now, I'm going to make it like 2 minutes, but at the end of the call, we can make it a point to change it back to a longer period of time. But just to like, I don't want to keep it 1 week when we are trying to demo it because nothing will happen.
We're doing speed governance
We're
now.
doing speed governance, but that's really stupid that we don't recommend having 2 minutes as as the time that people can vote on.
It makes it very exciting today, though.
Really adrenaline like rushing to your computer to do it. No.
So the other The other are more advanced settings, and there's this handy note. You can lock yourself out of the DAO by misconfiguring it, so it's good to like pay attention to this. Revoting means someone can change their mind if the voting window has not expired. A passing threshold means you can specify, is it majority or just over 50? Is it 66%? Is it unanimous? You can specify this. This is programmable governance. If you scroll down further, a quorum is like the minimum percentage to meet a proposal. It's like the
Mm.
minimum turnout required for a pass for the proposal to be considered legitimate. So if a certain below a certain threshold participate, um, then then it won't work. Two interesting things down here at the bottom are the approver and the veto. And this is kind of cutting right ahead to how you can begin to build complex things, is that this DAO will create an address um, just like the address you're holding in your wallet. So the DAO itself is also an address. So what you can do is you can create a DAO of other DAOs. um, you can basically create sub-DAOs, sub-entities. So these are nestable configurations. So you could have one group be an approver or have veto power on another group. You could have an executive group and a sort of like, employee or like lower tier group. So you can make these nested relationships and assign override and authority and things like that. Yeah, if you're having trouble with this, you can join the DAO later for sure. Um, we'll stay in touch. I mean, we're just getting this off the ground, so we'd like as many people to be in this as possible. This is just a big experiment and it's fun.
So
Um,
because we want people from outside to be able to join as they're able, I'm going to make the proposal submission policy to be anyone, which means you can send us like a request to a proposal, which will show you how to do it, and ask us to like include you into the DAO membership. This makes sense because we want to keep participation in this space really accessible. But if you are an internal organization that do not have to use this for, or do not need like other members outside of your organization to be a part of this governance system, then you don't have to do this. But because this is a community space, we are going to allow anyone to be able to submit proposals to us. You may not be able to vote until unless you're in the DAO. That's the only difference, but you can always send us suggestions.
one of the things we think would be cool, and if we can make a proposal to decide this, is we can put like $100 in this, and people can govern like how you would want it to be spent or something like that. We can do a community spend pool or a participatory budgeting example if that's of interest. But for the sake of time, let's like cruise ahead. Okay. Um, these are really interesting beyond the scope of what we're talking about. Particularly retroactive compensation is a really interesting tool. Um, so we'll add it. These are like added functionality that allow people to make submissions for compensation for the work that they've done, and then the DAO votes on whether or not they should compensate somebody for it. The foundation has been doing a lot of interesting experiments with this particular module because it's a really cool way for members of a DAO to verify one another's contributions and then automatically trigger payments, permissioning, and things like that based on it. So we'll enable it. And then there's a new thing about a press, which is cool. Nice. So the participants ultimately have more power than the core organizers. So interesting politics here. With that, we have this sort of like dashboard of everything, how it's constructed, and let's say create. Fingers crossed. Fingers crossed. There's probably a pop-up that's happening on Nena's screen that you can't see where her wallet is approving different transactions. Nice.
I told you it would work.
Oh, you're so good. I love it. It's amazing. Yay. So we can paste this into the chat.
Welcome to our website.
Welcome to our website. Yay. Okay, so with this, we're like big whoop. Who cares? With this, we now have a online native entity on Regen Ledger where we can create proposals, hold currency together, submit proposals to be compensated for the work that we've done, create new kinds of subcategories, do all sorts of like general arbitrary decision-making processes. So Nena's just going right ahead and making a proposal. Is there anyone here? Frank Sanborn has a regen address that's not
That's what I'm
here.
doing. Yeah.
So we'll make a proposal to add Frank as a new member. But interestingly, this is the proposal construction space, and it's pretty sophisticated, and that's part of the reason we're excited about this. The way that DAOs work in this format is if you wanted to change the like cover image for the DAO or the name of it, that's also a proposal. Like everything is a proposal that people weigh in on. So if you want to make edits to the core configuration, you can do that, but it has to go through a proposal. In this scenario, we have a proposal at the top. Nena gave some text to it, and then we have the type, either single or multiple choice. There isn't a relevant thought to have a multiple choice for should we admit a member or not. It's kind of a yes or a no. And then there's a set of actions, which means if this passes, do this other thing. We're binding a set of like permissioning or allocation or a sending of resources to an address to be contingent upon the outcome of a proposal. And this is something that smart contracts enable. So we're not making sure that the treasury team then follows through based off of the outcome of the proposal. It's automatically going to happen. And that's because it's a programmable governance. And we call that like programmatic. So Nena's like going through the action library, and there's a manage members action. I'm not sure if your screen share is frozen. No, it's not. So if we click manage members,
I'm going to add as like voting weight tier was 8, if I remember right. And the address that I got is here, right here. Okay. Yeah,
yeah, that's it.
that's it. Exactly.
But
So
note how we could do other things. We could manage a member and we could send a
mm,
spend proposal in this if it went through. You can do complex chains of things. So we're creating basically contracts where code is executing conditional people's agreement or their input into something.
yes. Now I'm gonna publish it.
Again, there's probably some approvals that are happening that you can't see in the screen share where Nena's like approving the transaction through her Kepler
Yeah.
extension. And now this DAO has an open proposal that's running for the next 2 minutes. So paste the link, would you, into the chat? And if you join the DAO, run in here and try to vote in the next 2 minutes. Speed
Yeah,
run.
so I remember when I tried a couple of days ago with a friend, we didn't really need any region, but I may be totally wrong. So let's find out. And if you need some region petty cash, we can send it to you all.
Yeah,
That
that would be another, we could do that as a spend proposal. Can
yeah.
you paste this URL into the chat so we can all get in there? What Nena's saying is because this is all running on kind of like a sovereign technical infrastructure, it's requiring energy to like do these computations. So we're not relying on some other third party to pay for that energy to keep the lights on like
Oh,
Google's
yeah.
doing. We have to like give like nominal change, like fractions of a cent in order to approve things because it helps power the system. And then proof of work, like with Bitcoin and formerly Ethereum, it was way more expensive.
So what I'm going to do now is to make it much easier. I'm sure the 4 team members right now must have do have like sufficient quorum to pass a proposal. I'm going to add some regen onto our treasury, and to all the participants, we are going to send a little bit for so that you all can vote and do stuff with it. Does that sound good? Oops, I went back. Oops, oops, oops.
I
Okay.
have I locked I made a boo-boo for myself in Dada this morning, so I can't vote until Noah helps me fix it. I basically locked myself out, which happens. Anyone
It
else?
got rejected because none of you all voted. How bad? How bad? See how
This
complex
this
things
demo
can be.
session had to culminate with disappointment, didn't it?
We're gonna try adding you again,
No,
Frank.
2 minutes.
2 minutes is nothing.
Yeah, I think put it at 3 minutes.
That
5.
that would
2 minutes
again
is
need a
impossible.
We
proposal
have
to
to make
go
a proposal
through.
to change
So
which
now
makes
you're actually seeing the challenges of this live as well. That how it actually works. Okay, anyway, I'm gonna first like add money
wait,
to a treasury. So to do that, for like asking someone to add funds into your treasury, you basically have to go to this tab called treasury, and there is when you have the copy address. Now this address is not uniquely tied to a single individual, but it is basically your group address. Like when you have a WhatsApp chat, and then you have your WhatsApp personal account. And if you want to invite someone to the chat, you would send the chat link, not your personal WhatsApp number. So this is the same way that it functions. This is your group wallet address that can hold the inventory, which is cash, as a collective group. So I'm going to copy that, pause, share for a minute, and send some money in the background.
this is kind of like we're now in some ways having kind of concluded like the demo. We could do a lot of other things. We could change the voting window duration. We could demonstrate a retroactive compensation. We could send regen. We are sending regen to folks. Um, so maybe this is an interesting moment just to like pause. And if there's any high level reflections, lesser like if you have troubleshooting issues, we'll try to help. But if there's any questions around sort of like what we've shared so far, I think what we can do with the remaining 5-10 minutes is share a link that the foundation has compiled of some really cool projects, some of which by people on this call, um, around proposals you can see where communities are actually using DAO in practice to make decisions around purchasing seeds, making commitments around uh, stewarding land in a particular way. So we'll just like populate this with real examples. Um, so yeah, I need like high level questions and things like that to sort of is if we would like to know if this is just landing at all. If not, what do y'all think?
Got a quick
Hi.
question.
Yeah.
How did Kepler get chosen as the wallet, as a platform?
It's an artifact. We're being apolitical here because there's a lot of politics within like which blockchain ecosystem different things are developed on. Because right now it's quite difficult to bridge across different blockchain ecosystems, different chains. So Regen Ledger for Regen Network is native to a particular ecosystem called like the interchain. And so Cosmos happens to be the wallet that's native. Kepler is the wallet that is native to that ecosystem. We didn't show this, but you can still basically just log in using a Google authentication. And you can also use MetaMask, which is the Ethereum native one too. So if you want to log in using MetaMask, that works as well.
Thank you for that. I wasn't able to, because I don't have a desktop. But I downloaded Kepler Wallet, and I
Okay.
saw that there were 63 other chains that you can send and receive. So that is kind of they're building an ecosystem of many chains through Kepler under the Kepler
Correct.
Wallet. Yes.
The idea behind this space is to have many different chains that talk to each other like an internet protocol rather than one giant chain that then has a bunch of that everyone uploads to. So it's like a pluralist approach. There's a lot to unpack in terms of the difference between the Ethereum mainnet and multi-chain, but maybe I'll take this opportunity to open Kepler on my phone and you can download the Kepler app on your phone and if I go into a browser, I can open up DAO on my phone and you can see the different DAOs that I'm a member of here, and I can do everything that we're doing on the browser on my phone, and I can participate in this governance proposal all through the phone. That's through the Kepler app, and you can look for applications and add DAO to it. So interestingly, everything is available on mobile version as well. It's actually kind of a smoother experience on the mobile.
Can I pause you for a second? Because I managed to fill our treasury up with $30. That's all I had, which is not staked. Everything else is staked. I'm going to quickly do this proposal so we can add Frank here, and I'm going to show a second proposal. So I'm counting on the 4 members of the team to quickly vote on it so that we can actually get it moving. So please keep your fingers tight and to press the buttons. Here goes the proposal. Please vote on it quickly, Shella, Rebecca, Austin, because we all have funds. And
I
I'm
can't because I have this error. So hopefully
it's fine. Even if Shella and Becca manage to do it, it should work. And I got logged out. So
1 minute left. Making the voting window so tight kind of like works within the margins because all of these things are happening through they're like anchoring and being logged on chain. It takes a while sometimes for things to happen, and you would be used to a conventional server to like respond quicker, but since they're doing a lot more complicated
Yeah, it's not working for me.
okay.
I'm using a test account or a test wallet.
Is it giving you the same error that Chris had that your address does not exist on chain? Send some tokens there before trying to query sequence. Does it give you that error?
No, yeah.
Well, I just voted, so
Nice. Okay, so we should be able to see at least Shyla and everyone can see how this is all happening in real time on chain.
Yeah, that's weird.
Yeah. So there's latency with this part of it, and the 2 minutes might be too tight to really be able to work with the latency that Dada works with. Things happen a little bit slow in this world because it's like working on a blockchain and signing all of these transactions in the background. It looks like I see in the chat some people are having success.
yeah.
Why don't we? Okay, there we are. Nice.
we
There's
need one more person to vote somehow.
somebody.
Who can? Somebody who has some region already.
Did you manage to send us some region to folks?
Yeah, it's on the chat. Never mind. This is not gonna work until
Until we fix the thing. Well, we got really far. That's great. Why don't we show the appendix of like some examples of the covenant stuff and things like that? And
yeah.
then I can break into breakout rooms and maybe have like 20 minutes of discussion and we can circle back.
Yeah, I'm just opening that link up. I need a minute. I have it. We can start with Earthist because
Maybe I'll
Southwest
just intro
is
this just generally. We've compiled this as a list of proposals by collaborators like Earthist and others who have been prototyping like digital governance for regenerative communities on DAO for a while. Even though it wasn't on Regen Ledger, we were using different chains at the time. And this is a compilation of what we think are like meaningful demonstrations of the tool relevant to the kind of use cases you all might be interested in. Some of them are more like conceptual, and others are more practical. I think the seed selection proposal for Earthist is a really excellent one. Thanks, iPhone, for coming.
Soto's on the call.
Yeah, and I would love to visit your ranch home in Guadalajara. Yeah, great. We would love to visit your ranch home in Guadalajara. Thanks for coming. Okay, so I don't know, Soto, do you wanna tell us about this? Are you available too, Soto Ra? Did we lose him?
No, they're around. They weren't having very stable internet, so maybe we just speak for him on his behalf.
Okay, the objective is to distribute free, non-genetically modified cotton seeds to 10 farmers participating in the hemp project in cooperation with GVK Society, which does sustainable cotton and hemp as well. So nice like etiquette or basically like decorum in terms of no, you need the Starlink. Well, we're shining a light on your awesome work even though you need a Starlink. Um, it's just to like note that how this is structured is super clear. That you can in your proposal, there is a way to include to upload documents and content in your proposal. Um, and an alternate, like kind of more simplified version of doing that is to include a link to reference material in your proposal. So one of the ways that like you all could think about using proposals, you can basically do anything with just a conventional like multiple choice or yes no proposal. So we could say we could use more complicated systems to verify people's contributions, but imagine imagine that I am working with a group of people and we're tree planting and I want to uh, make a proposal to be compensated for some supplies that I purchased that would help us plant trees. I could make a proposal to say, I'm requesting to receive this amount of resources back, and then you attach links to the receipts for what you've done, um, any photos that might be demonstration of the work, and then people can review the material and then reply. And so in this case, you see a turnout with everyone with different tiers of voting power. Um, and so that went through. I don't believe that this has an action associated with it, and you don't have to have an action associated with it. Um, you can just have the proposal be a formalization of shared understanding or agreement amongst the group that is using the blockchain to anchor and make durable agreements or commitments that are happening in person. So one of the most kind of important ways that we think of this is people should gather and convene how they choose to in the context and in the culture that they like. And after a decision or a process has been met, that you then anchor it on a DAO after the fact. So think of it like a hitting submit button to the practices you're already doing. And it allows the blockchain to be a repository of your actions, but we're not trying to force everyone's culture into this particular interface or that interface. So you could imagine if you wanted to have people vote by putting tally marks on a piece of paper or dropping scraps of paper into different bins, like you could document that through a photo and make a proposal asking the members to verify that that was actually what happened. And you're doing a kind of incremental way of anchoring actions and activities that happen in real life on chain. But the ritual space of governance, how this complements physical practices, is a really important area of research and discussion.
I think the next one we can show is like where the spend proposal is actually there. So we can see how it looks and how money flows from your treasury into a particular account. So here is an
I'm
example.
down so long as we do it really quickly because I want to make sure we have time for breakout.
Yeah, so it's basically the same idea where people, this is a different group, a Waste Common Collective in Tanzania that basically had a governance module for governing their collective treasury. And the spend module, basically they allocated budget for a certain action that they wanted, and that money was released into an individual's account. So when you have it in an individual account, you can then basically off-ramp it, which means you can convert it into real cash, whatever the real cash is in your geographical location, and then you can use it to buy seeds, you can use it to pay yourself, you can use it to buy equipment, you can use it to do whatever you want to do. So this is the way to like govern a collective treasury, and then yeah, how the money flows is decided by collective vote rather than an individual decision that is made.
Thanks for playing. That demo actually basically worked. Haha. That's amazing. What we can do now is probably break into 2 breakout rooms. I think that would make sense. And why don't we have one of them about digital governance for regenerative communities, specifically about what we just shared, and I can be in that. And someone else, whoever wants to, can be in that. And then we'll leave this main room as like a still open forum for questions, curiosity about Regen in general, understanding what the project is, what you're working on, a chance to intro. So we'll make a breakout room if someone doesn't mind doing that. And I can be in there and with whoever else, and we can talk in more detail about this as you like. And then we'll have this main space be kind of an open area. How does that sound?
Yeah. So room 1 is that the governance breakout. So you just hit join under breakout rooms to join that one. And we'll convene for the last few minutes, maybe like
Yeah.
5 or so. Great. Everybody's hungry for. Well, I can just hold down the ship. Why don't you guys head over there and support in that conversation, since everybody's interested over there, or most folks. Wait, I have it on hide non-video participants, so it looks like we still got some folks in here. Hang on.
How do you join the breakout room? On your screen, you will see breakout rooms in progress. And if you scroll down, there is room 1. So if you join that room, you might be able to go. Okay. Looks like everybody wants to just talk about that.
Yeah, that's fine. That's great. Everybody, I mean, it's a good.
No, we could have kept it in the main room. But if others here want to discuss other things, we are very open to conversing.
Feel free to just pop on audio if you have questions or thoughts, or if you have any issues getting to the breakout room, just let us know.
Nisha, if you want to go, maybe I can assign you to that breakout room automatically. Do you want to do that? Do you want me to?
No, I figured it out. I think it was coming in one of the menus. Got it.
Super.
Okay. So Kyle and Pascaline and Emmanuel, if you all have any questions, happy to answer anything. Or if you would like to join that breakout group, we can manually add you as well if you want to dig into governance more.
Hello.
Hi.
I didn't really get which breakout room is for what, and I didn't see an invitation on my screen.
The breakout room is about discussing more around like the tool that we just showed you. What
Okay.
applications of that for regenerative, different kinds of regenerative projects. So the breakout room is about that. So if you would like to join, we could add you manually to go there, or you could just stay here, and if you have any questions, we are happy to answer as well.
Okay. Yeah, this is all very new for me, and I'm just trying to understand a bit possibility, and my kids are ringing. But yeah, I might join the breakout room and to get to know a bit more.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thank you.
I'm gonna add you there.
Thanks, Dana. Oh, nice.
Hello, Jens and Kyle.
Yep, sorry, I was on another call. Thank you very much for today. Unfortunately, I have to go, and I look forward to joining another Builders Lab.
Oh yeah, for sure. You're more than welcome. Feel free to find us on Hilo in the meantime. And yeah, we'll see you next time.
Great. Yeah, I've been following your work for many years. Actually applied for a job like during COVID. So I have a lot to learn about, you know, on-chain stuff. I just haven't got over that hump yet. But today was very helpful. So thank
Oh,
you.
glad to hear it. Glad to hear it. You know where to find us. Yeah. Thank you, Kyle.
Hello, Jens. Are you there?
Yes.
Hey, good to see you. So we have a active breakout room going right now. For like digesting a bit around governance for like governance tooling, for those kind of working in the my dog, in the regenerative space. So happy to shift you over there if you'd like to be over there, or
I
here.
was just trying to find actually a way to reach out to you, Becca.
Oh, well, there you go. You found me.
I don't know if you saw the email I sent out on Monday.
I'm gonna let you catch up and then
Yeah.
go to the other one.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I don't, did I miss that? Let me check.
Let me
The-
see what it was.
And in the midst of applying to a UNDP RFP, so we've been awfully delayed. Okay, great. So Jason Valdez, executive, I know that name, founder of Wind River, right, seeking through the weekend. Could we do a crypto token specifically to support Atlanta? Jason has raised millions for purchasing registered homesteads. Yeah, that's an interesting question. That's not something that we've done historically, just like a specific kind of launch like that around a crypto token. So it would be like a new token, I guess, not utilizing the Regen coin.
Because it's not an eco-related project.
Well, no, just like I'm not sure like the utility of like a general token like the Regen token, I feel it could be used for this use case versus
Right.
like spinning up a new token. Like that's a really great question. And I feel like because we haven't ever done it, I actually don't have an answer. But you know what I do know is that there is I know exactly.
And I'm not trying to push for like a sudden quick answer. I just want to
Okay.
see if it was on your radar.
Yeah, yeah.
The
Oh,
last
definitely.
time it was a scramble when
Yeah,
I reached out to you, and it
but
turned
like,
out not to be a scramble. And honestly, I'm getting the same vibe this time from Jason, but as when I ask him questions, it's clearly not an emergency. So, like,
yeah,
the more I thought I could do to help you be, or whoever you think would be the best person on
yeah. I know
to
just the
talk
person.
about it.
I
Who are
know
you
just the
thinking?
person. So are you on Telegram by chance?
I don't think.
Because if you're not, don't worry about trying to get onto another platform. But there is basically, I think that's where a lot of like the token conversations take place.
Okay.
So two options. One, I can literally like pose a more generic version of this question without saying like exactly who to that group and like just see how they interact and then let you know. Or I can add you or like share the link, the join link with you, and you could join in. And the main person that will understand both the context that you're coming from and the token is Christian Shearer. So he's one of the co-founders of Regen, and he maintains basically our treasury. So he's got like the full scope there. So what sounds good for like interacting with that group?
Um, Gosh, the introvert in me wants to lean into your offer to just go ahead and
Let's
do
do it.
you do it, but um
I don't mind because
I'm
I feel
open
like
to doing more, or maybe you want to do that initially and see if it makes sense. If there's more follow-up,
that's great. Let's do that.
then I can do something like get on their platform or whatever.
Yeah, and I do feel like that's the right group. And if it's cool with you, I'm just gonna go ahead and do that right now.
Sure.
Because I've got it on here and Christian is here. Question about the utility of the region of Regen. Folks involved in rewilding. Let's see. Rewilding of buffalo. Interested in, all right, let's see. Interested in using a crypto token to support land acquisition.
I wouldn't be surprised there's a lot of confusion too and newness about this on our side. The other thing that I saw in the news that might be spurring some of this is Wyoming, the state of Wyoming had their first crypto offering that's back
Ah,
something.
I bet so. That does make sense. Um,
And they're doing an eco credit for sure, but when I pushed him on when he wanted specifically, because I understood the eco credit to be for long-term maintenance of the land and the project.
yeah, definitely. That would
And
utility of that.
and I thought it'd be great if we could get more and actually be able to acquire land, but it didn't seem like he was raising a lot more money directly than anything that would happen through a regenerative scheme that I saw.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was, I think he's somehow reaching out and he's blending these things in his mind now. And I don't know what he's fully got in mind. And he's at an intertribal Buffalo council this week, but he
Okay.
was willing to step out like or work around his schedule there to meet sooner than later. He had some urgency around it, but
Okay.
I
I just
couldn't sense
asked.
why. I really didn't. So
That's interesting. Yeah, I mean, I'm sure there are a lot of different examples out there of how folks have used it in that, or I would imagine folks use it in that context. But I will see what they say. So I just kept it a little more generic.
take half a day and kind of see how it lands with different people, see if you get any feedback. And maybe if you want to schedule something with them, I didn't include Casey, I don't think, in that email, but I could. She's the one who actually can get things on his calendar.
Okay. I'm just gonna reply to the email so that you and Jason both see it. I've inquired with the region. Know about its utility as a token and these.
Let me ask you this, because I know I asked you about Signal before, because I've been connecting with Gregory on that platform,
Oh, great.
but I know it didn't work for you. Does Telegram actually work for you as a
It's
messaging platform?
it does. I've had some phone issues that were exacerbated by a long-term camping trip this summer. So that is state of my life. Because it's like I had it's almost like my account kind of disappeared, and then when I logged back in, like nothing was there. It was very odd. So I've been trying to figure that out. I I'm um yeah, I try to check Telegram probably like once a week, and ordinarily I'm pretty swift on email on a non-intense grant week. But yeah, I think I before the signal issue, that's how I was. One of the ways I was like just kind of tracking. Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, I sent that email.
I appreciate that. And I'm glad I was able to catch you here.
Yeah, I mean, honestly, we want this space to be something that can literally be like pop in and find somebody and, not have to like schedule a bunch of meetings or anything. So feel free to use this
Well, it worked.
for that purpose. Yeah.
Awesome.
But yeah, I'll follow up over that email. They're normally um uh pretty swift. But it's a group of like Regen folks, but then like other folks that are just really involved with the Regen token and like how to use it in lots of different ways. So I feel like it might be a blend of like a Regen response plus a lot of other ideas, which could be interesting.
Yeah, I'm eventually going to want that invite from you regardless, because it sounds like an interesting group.
Yeah. Yeah,
Okay.
definitely. Any other questions top of mind?
No, thank you.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, really good to see you. Talk soon.
Bye.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome back. That went by fast.
It went by fast, yeah.
Did, yeah.
I might pick up from a question that Renee asked that I thought was really good, that I think is like part of the intent here, is that uh the motivation to demonstrate this kind of technology is not to sell a particular ecosystem or a ledger. We're biased because many of us work at Regen and believe that in the stack. But the point is to like bring capacity and meaningful conversation for people to be doing this kind of governance around regeneration projects, around funding infrastructure like a, deployable trailer that supports stewards in their practices, or around refugees or waste collection, etc. Um, so hopefully the point sticks that like there's a tremendous amount of potential and very little engagement really so far with using digital governance that's like internet native to be in service to like what would be considered marginalized or more peripheral regenerative communities that it brings legitimacy to, but on like without ceding control. Um, and that is a really interesting design space. So I would just offer up that um, proof of concepts that demonstrate the potential for how grassroots organizations might integrate some of these tools into their process. I think will probably catch on like wildfire because this world of Web3 has just struggled to have any real tangible application. And hopefully, what we just talked about in the breakout room is like extremely clear, explicit ways to try to get it to do something for people. And they're just begging for it. So, sky's the limit in terms of like what are the pilots? What are the use cases? What seems like a relevant scenario in you all's lives, in your with your stakeholders you interact with that could be meaningful, that can demonstrate that people can collectively own and do things together and not, default to hierarchical models. That's kind of like the call to action. Would love to hear, Frank would love to follow up and keep talking about it.
Yeah.
Sincerely, anyone else who has like tangible applications in your world where you think something like this could sort of inspire and stoke imagination, we're very enthusiastic to talk about it.
Yeah, and maybe you can put your email in the chat as well, because I think Abebe had some questions about your ecological impact. So
It's
Any
okay.
other?
So it's understandable. You know, it's my first session today to join you. I'm
Yeah.
also coming to know your lab very well. I'm also trying to compare, you know, the conventional process approach we usually do and this digital innovative approach you are now talking. So I'm trying to catch up, yeah, a new approach also from you. Thank you.
Let this system support and secure the approach you're already using, not replace it. It's not a substitution logic, but a way of complement, hopefully. Avivit, where are you working? May I just ask?
Oh, I've worked for non-for-profit organizations years. I have done little research on soil carbon and, you know, was interested to know more how you are going to lead, you know, to the market. So I have done some pilot things. So I'm just trying to know the group and work, but I hope I could be of help in, say, reviewing many of the concept notes and so on, because I have had business development activities for the past years. Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for joining. Any other high level or specific reflections? Hi, Soto.
Hey, thanks for the presentation. I was on the field, couldn't chip in, but that was great. Thanks, Nena and Austin, Shaila. Very, very excited that we are on Regen network with DAO. Let's see how it's gonna fold up. It's been an interesting experience for all the community. As you know, we have community members from different projects that joined our DAO. And the hardest part for us to get people used to the blockchain. So as long as they are used to it, it's really easy process. I think it's only hard for me because I use Ledger. So for every vote, it takes really much time to get vote, but no one else used the Ledger. So for that, it's really, really easy. It's as easy as Google login, as you mentioned, as Apple login, once you get used to it. So I just suggest, please don't be afraid and just use it to experiment with the different modules. Thanks.
We didn't go into this, but we discussed like cold wallets and hot wallets, and there are like higher security USB plugin wallets that can interact with Kepler that Soto was mentioning at a level of complexity, particularly if you're dealing with large funds. We can save that for another session. But yeah, thanks for the enthusiasm and thanks for the awesome, like basically demonstrative work to allow others to be like, great, this is tangible and usable. So we appreciate it. Renee.
It's actually thanks to you for the foundation. I hope more DAOs would join to the program.
Same.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wanted to say that for me, it was really interesting to see it live. So that was really a really good point. I can see like better the potential now that this has, and yeah, I'm currently working on developing a regenerative online project as well. So I already can start thinking about the how to use this technology in this thing that I'm developing. So it's great. I see the potential. Thank you very much.
Fantastic. Thanks for coming. I think probably with that, we'll close it. Thanks everybody for being here. We can follow up in some form, definitely in the LinkedIn. We'll like paste the recording for this session. And yeah, this isn't hypothetical stuff. It's real. It's exciting. What a cool time to be alive. Thanks, everyone.
Yeah, thank you all so much.
Bye, I'll see you next
Thank you so
time.
much.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.